Well, hey y'all, welcome back to the house on Avery Road. It is me, it is Mark. Listen, today we're going to be canning bone-in, skin-on chicken legs and thighs. Now y'all, this is not going to be a how-to, step-by-step video on how to can chicken legs and thighs. Now I am going by the National Center for Home Food Preservation's website. I'm going by their recommendations because it's a trusted, and it's by the FDA and everything like that, so it's a trusted recipe. But I'm going to bring y'all along with me and you'll see exactly what I'm doing, and I'll go over it step by step. What I've got here is a pile of chicken because we found chicken on sale big time. Massive sale on chicken legs and thighs. So I've got those here in these pans and I'm going to par cook them. I'm not raw packing them because I've done a little research and a lot of people say that the par cooked chicken tastes a little better than the raw pack. Now I've not been doing this for a whole long time. I did can some other chicken the other day. Let me show y'all that real quick. So this is what we're doing. We're canning them in quart jars. My jars are in the oven, and this is not pretty chicken, but it is tasty chicken. So what I'm gonna do right now, and I'll put this over here for a minute and I'll put it away. I'm gonna put this, well, I'm gonna take this chicken right here. This has already been salt and pepper garlic powder. So I'm gonna take this chicken and I'm gonna salt and pepper garlic powder it. And I'll show you what all we need to do this. Garlic powder. Because you really don't want a lot of seasons coming through. You really want the chicken to shine through. It's what you really want. So I'm not even doing both sides. I'm just doing one side. And we're going to roast this off until it's got a good color on it. And I'll show you what that looks like when it comes out. And then we're going to go to pressure canning. Now listen, if you want to can chicken, you will have to have a pressure canner. You cannot can chicken without a pressure canner. And y'all, I just got into canning. I've not been canning for very long at all, but it's so addictive. And the other day I was telling you about that chicken there. I made some chicken and dumplings the other day that was absolutely spot on fantastic. So right now we're gonna get this chicken into the oven. Now I've got my oven at 400 and I'm just going to check it. I'm going to move it around because I've got 3 pans. I'm going to move it around. I'll flip it over. I'll turn it just so we can get the chicken brown on the outside, and then we'll pack it into jars. So come on back. Okay, y'all, I've changed my shirt because I'm dealing with chicken and chicken fat and chicken grease and stuff like that, and I always stain my good shirts. So I just put on this shirt here because it's been stained enough, so I can do it in this shirt. Let me show y'all. Right here I've got my pressure canner. I've got it on the boil. It's going to come up. Now here, the recipe that I was following called for chicken, Better Than Bouillon chicken broth. But I'm going to use this Better Than Bouillon veggie broth because you can taste the celery and all the vegetables in the veggie broth. And I thought that would just lend a really good thing to the chicken. You know, all those flavors from the vegetables getting and mixing in with the chicken. So I think this is going to be really good. But the recipe actually calls for chicken bouillon or chicken Better Than Bouillon base like that. But I've got that here getting hot. This is my first pan of chicken. And it's only about halfway cooked. So now I'm going to get me some jars and start stuffing some jars with chicken. So I've let this chicken cool a little bit so I can, just so it's manageable and I can handle it. And you can really pack this chicken down in here. And you're going to want to leave your head space. So that's got 4 pieces in it. 1, 2. I love this canned chicken. I think I told y'all a while ago that we made some chicken and dumplings with this chicken, and it turned out so good. And I can't wait to do chicken pot pies with this, Wayne, you said something a while ago too.
Chicken Dorito casserole.
Chicken Dorito casserole, yes, with this chicken. It's going to be lovely. Let me get me another jar. I'm going to stuff one more jar, and then we will, we'll stuff this one more jar, then we'll fill it with the broth and top off the lids and show you how to do that. And then we can do the rest of it off camera, and we'll come back when we're gonna put it in the canner. So let me rinse my hands real quick. I want to get my, this is what I had stock in a while ago. So we're going to, now if you were doing raw packed chicken does not call to add liquid. Like I say, you're going to follow your canning procedures from your recipe. But raw packed chicken don't call for any liquid. You don't put any liquid in it because it makes its own. But hot packed chicken loses a lot of liquid, because you can see like there's a lot of liquid in here. It loses liquid, so you have to add liquid to it. So let me get my thing right here, and I'm gonna see if I can debubble. You always want to debubble and make sure that you get all the air bubbles out. A little more. Okay. Fill this jar. Oh, this smells so good, y'all. Y'all, I tell you, canning, Mama and Granny used to can a lot when I was growing up, and I watched them do it. But you know, little old boy, I wasn't interested in what they was doing. But as you get older, I really long for the old ways that old people used to do stuff. And I think, and I was talking to somebody the other day, canning is a lost art. There's an art to this. There's, you know, it's a skill that you have. And me learning how to can, I have really enjoyed this process and this journey of learning how to can and safe methods for canning. Okay, these look awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and put my lids on. But first, right here, this is some vinegar and water that I've got. And I am going to wipe these rims really good, because you don't want any grease or anything on these rims. You don't want nothing to hurt that seal, so wipe that off. I've got an inch of head space here. I'm going to go on with this. I'm going to go ahead and put these lids on here. I'm going to finish jarring up everything, and then we'll come back once we've got the pressure canner loaded up. We've got all the jars filled, and actually I've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, I've got 6 quarts in here that I'm fixing to put the lid on and start the pressure canning process on this. And I've got 2 extra jars. So now I've never done this before. So I guess I'm gonna let these process, and when those finish process, I'm either going to, if it gets too late, I'll either just take these 2 and cook them till they're done and put them in the refrigerator, or whenever this is finished, I'll take and put these 2 in with a couple of empty jars of water, because you can't run a half full canner, and I'll can these 2. But we'll just see. We'll see, because we can always cook this and make it into a recipe like tomorrow or the next day if we choose to do that. But I'm fixing to put my canner on, my lid. Now I've checked my hole here, what the steam comes out of, and it's good. So right now, this is not the way I want it on. So right now, I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to let this come up to a steady steam. Once this starts steaming steady, we're going to put a timer on for 10 minutes. And then once we put that timer on for 10 minutes, we'll come back and we'll show you, I'll talk to you a little bit about canning. Alright, y'all. The timer just went off, and this has steamed for 10 minutes. So now I've put the pressure gauge on. Now, my altitude calls for 15 pounds of pressure. And this gauge, this weighted gauge right here, is a 15-pound weight. So, once this goes to jiggling, I'll know that that is 15 pounds. Now, I really don't go by this. I watched a video one time, and I can't remember who it was, that said that the gauge, the pressure gauge, could be off a little. But the weight is always accurate. So the gauge could be off, but the weight, the 15-pound weight, is always accurate. So I feel very comfortable in just going by this weight rather than the gauge. So when this gets up to a rattle, I'll let y'all see what it's supposed to sound like. And then we're going to go and put a timer on it, and we're going to time it for 75 minutes because I am above 1,000 feet altitude. So I'm going to can for 75 minutes at 15 pounds of pressure for this chicken. Okay. See what I mean by this? According to this, we're almost at 20 pounds, like 18 pounds. But this just started jiggling. So I always go by this. Now, your weight should be doing just about like that one's doing. Real gentle jiggle. Like Michael Bublé. Real gentle. If you got Little Richard going on up here, you are too hot. So remember, Michael Bublé, not Little Richard. My timer has went off, so I'm going to move this off the heat to right there, and I'm going to let that come down very naturally. So I'm just going to let it cool until there's no more pressure inside. I'll know that because this tab right here will drop down, and then when I take this off, there won't be any steam coming out. And then once I do that, I'll let that sit for 10 minutes and then I'll crack the lid. But I did decide, because it's getting late, it's 11 o'clock here, so I decided with those 2 jars, I just went ahead and made a nice chicken and rice. And it worked out great because we didn't have anything for supper, so I just poured those in here, put a little rice, and made a chicken and rice, and it's delicious. So, I'm going to let that come down naturally, and then we'll show y'all when we take it out. Okay, when I moved it over here, I let it come down off of pressure naturally. I didn't try to help it cool down in any way. I just let it come down naturally. This thing fell down. Then I took the weight off of it. And then I set a timer for 10 minutes, and I let that sit for 10 minutes. Once it sat for 10 minutes, I went ahead and I cracked the top so that it could just sit here and vent for 10 minutes. Just like this. You don't want to rush this. When you're pressure canning, you cannot rush anything, because if you rush it, it's liable to fail, right? So we're wanting safe food. So I let that vent for 10 minutes. Now I'm fixing to take this off. This right here, and then I'll clean all this up. I've got something going on here that I don't know about. I'm going to have to ask somebody about that because I've never seen that happen before. If I can take this out, it's still boiling in my jar. I'm fixing to ask somebody. I'm fixing to ask y'all your opinion because I don't know. Look at this. I'll show you. I've never had this happen. Like I say, I've not been pressure canning for a long time. Look at this. What is this? It's like burnt on top. The jar looks fine. I've never seen that before. Okay, wait a minute. I did have some siphonage, but that's kind of normal. I'm gonna have to ask somebody, because I've never seen that before. Alright, got this out. Kind of concerned about that, but come over here and look, it's still boiling in the jars. If you can see that. I love the headspace on that. I'm gonna let this sit for 24 hours and check the seals. But this, I'm not sure about this. I'm gonna have to ask somebody to look at this for me and see. I've never had that happen before, and I don't know what could have happened to it. So, anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'll find out about this. If you know anything about this before, if you've ever had anything like this happen, please let me know in the show notes below, or the comments below, and yeah. It's gorgeous, and it smells good. So I'll talk to y'all later. Give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment box, subscribe to the channel, and click the little bell to be notified every time we upload a video. Until next time, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.